everyone to our Zoom call tonight. And we just know with confidence that every night that we host this, it's going to get bigger and bigger because God has placed a very strong calling on our hearts to call each and every one of you out and the leadership inside of you, and just to help you see that vision and cast that vision on you. And so that's the purpose of tonight's Skype call. And even if you couldn't make it tonight, the actual night that we're recording, and you're watching this later on, then we commend you because you have made a decision to step out of that comfort zone. And that is where growth happens. You will never grow when you stay inside of your comfort zone. And one of my favorite quotes that I took away from convention was, if you want the rich life and you want the successful life, then out of your comfort zone you have to go. You want the broke life, then you're just going to stay in your comfort zone, because the more that you just stay comfortable with the mundane and the boring and never pushing yourself, never challenging yourself, never growing yourself, then that's where you stay. The more that you face your fears, which tonight, obviously, this was one of mine. I knew I had to step out and do this and host a Zoom and call out the leadership in myself that God has put on my heart. The more that we step into that area of fear and the lies that we tell ourselves, the stronger that we grow and the less that fear controls us. So I want to start off, and I'm reading and speaking from some of my favorite notes that I took away from convention this 10 days ago. But one of my favorite speakers, her name was Fallon, and she talked about how negativity was absolutely unacceptable on her team. If someone ever came to her negative, she would always stop and ask them these 5 questions. And these were also 5 questions that she asked herself in her business. These are questions that she asked her downlines. And the first and foremost one was always something positive, because she always wanted to switch from the negative to positive. What is going well right now? And this is something you could even ask your customers if they're saying, the products aren't working, whatever. Stop the negativity and you immediately ask, well, can you tell me what is going well? And if we can retrain our downlines, our ambassadors, our VIPs to focus on the positive, that is where success happens. It all starts with the belief. So number 2 is, so what feels hard right now? Number 3, what are you avoiding? That one hit me hard, because oftentimes we get stuck when we're afraid to jump into that next zone that's brings some fear. Number 4, where is growth needed? That's where we stop and evaluate. Okay, I'm afraid of this because I might not know a lot about that topic, or maybe I need to do some self-growth on that. And I'll be honest, I don't know much about business, don't know much about leadership. I'm more of the, personal, connecting, artsy. So the whole business, all that aspect of it was hard for me. It's something I'm forcing myself to grow on this next year. It's something I'm forcing myself to step into because I know it's out of my comfort zone. And number 5, what action can I do to conquer that? And so for me, I decided, okay, the actions I'm going to do to conquer that, I'm going to start reading books on leadership, on business growth. I'm going to start stepping into that and calling out the leader in myself and pulling out that leadership that I know God has given us. One thing John Maxwell said is, leading in business, it's a skill. It's not a talent. And a skill is something that can be taught and learned. So if it's a skill, then that means everyone is capable of getting there. And another quote he said was, even the most introverted individual will influence an average of 10,000 people in their lifetime. And I know for me, that was a lie that I believed. Like, I get anxiety. I think I'm more of an introvert. But then hearing Fallon up on stage, who's a 5-star diamond with 7 whatever people next to her, saying that she's an introvert as she's on this stage speaking to 5,000 people, showed me that just because you might call yourself an introvert does not mean that you cannot make it to the top of this business. And God has huge leadership abilities for you. So next, I'm going to move into the core business building tips that they give us. And this was something that I felt like I really want to take away and work on, and something that I really want our team to grow in. And so they give 3 main points, and I'll send all of this later on. But if you want to take notes to kind of what you feel God is speaking to you the most, then I think that's how I learn best. But they gave 3 main things to focus on, and then they gave the 3 steps of the process. So number 1 is the belief. It is a skill. You have to have a rock solid belief that this opportunity that Flexus offers us as stay-at-home moms, whatever position you're in, is different than anything else. You have to have that belief first and foremost that this is different, that this is going to be life-changing for my family. This is going to be life-changing for me. I am going to make it to the top. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to have a rock solid team. It has to start here first and foremost. And they must have said that 10, 15 times. Every single thing that makes you different and makes you get to the top of this company or not is between your 2 ears, right there. Because if you don't first believe in yourself, believe in this company, believe in the products, believe in your team, then that's where everything gets squashed. Don't prejudge people. We oftentimes have this mindset like, I just believe like that person is going to be best for my team. I don't know if they're going to be good. They're not going to like the products. And we have this prejudged idea of who we want on our team, what's going to be the best. Don't prejudge anyone. Have an open mind and let God bring each person to you. It's not usually the skill set that gets people stuck. It's what's between your ears. So number 2 is focus. The number 1 success indicator is just believing that it can be done. But number 2 is having the mindset to move the needle forward to accomplish the goal. So it's all fine and dandy if we're just sitting back here and saying, I believe I'm going to make it to diamond and that's incredible, but I am going to stay here on my couch and I'm just going to watch my shows because that's what feels good and I'm going to not do anything about it. That's where it stops then. So number 2 is you have to be able to have that mindset to move the needle forward to match the belief. And we have to step out and show that path that we have that focus. We have that mindset. We are paving the way. We are trailblazers because we have to stop selling the idea that this is just easy and you can work sitting on your couch. And because what they said is it sells us short. We are business leaders and we're going to make it to the top, but it's going to take hard work and grit, and we're here for it. And that's why we're here tonight. So having that focus means it's going to look different for all of us, but what does it look like for you? For me, it started with, I'm going to start reading a leadership and self-growth business book once a month. I'm going to start taking notes on the book and reflecting on that, reading about that, sharing with my team, calling that out in my team. I'm going to start watching leadership videos. So that's what my focus looks like to help move that needle forward. Number 3 is getting uncomfortable. And I can't tell you how many diamonds all said that. Probably 10 different people, top of the company, every single one preached that message. It's time to get uncomfortable. If you're going to take this serious, It is your comfort zone that is preventing you from getting any further. If you're not uncomfortable daily, you're not growing. That one hit me hard because I think I could say most of my days were spent in my comfort zone getting to Ruby. And I know Senior Ruby on, it's going to take really getting out of our comfort zones. And that's calling leadership out in other people as well. What is uncomfortable today won't be uncomfortable a year from now. And if we think about that, how true is that? How scared were we to make that first post when we bought the products and we knew we loved them, but we just didn't want to be that person? I know I was scared. That first post, that first video, the first person I messaged with selling the products to, that was a fear. But guess what? It's not a fear anymore. So the more we can step into that uncomfortable zone, the faster we squash it. And it's like these stepping stones to the top. So now how do we take all of that and turn it into a process? So there's 5 steps to this process. And number 1 is connect. You have to share the business opportunity with every single person that you sign. Now, I never looked at it that way. I just thought, I'm going to wait for them to express interest in wanting to earn a little money, and then I'll reach out about the business. Wrong. They might have a fear of reaching out. They might not ever reach out. We reaching out to them might plant a seed that starts to get them thinking, hey, you know what? I could use an extra $1,000 a month. So the process that they do for this is every single person that they sign as a VIP or a retail customer, they mark on their calendar and say, can I have a 10-minute phone call with you to make sure that these products are going to be the most effective that they possibly can be for your life? And of course, they always say, yeah, absolutely. They make a phone call. They said, don't text, pick up the phone and call, because when people can hear your voice, that connection is so much more powerful. Pick up the phone and talk to them. Talk to them about what their health goals are, what their health struggles are. Connect. Let them hear you caring about them. Ask specific questions about them. And then at the very, very end, you ask them, I have a question. If these products are working really well for you and you love them, would you be willing to share them? And they said all the time, they say, yeah, of course, absolutely. I would, my mom could use help. I'll share with my mom, my sister. And then they end it there and they say, okay, great. That's all I want to know. And then that seed's been planted and they can follow up. Hey, remember when you said that if you loved these products, that you would totally share them. Can I help you with that? I would love to help you reach your core group of people that you need to see healed and that maybe are struggling with health issues. I would love to help walk you through that. And then you can help them make that first video and etc. Number 2, overcoming objection. We've all been through objection of all kinds. It's horrible. It's enough to knock you down. And it's such an attack of the enemy to make you think you're not going to get to the top. You're not going to be a leader. And the more that you can overcome that and not let rejection or any kind of objection knock you down, the quicker you're going to get to a leadership position of success. Number 3, casting a vision in everyone, even if it's a retail customer, even if it's a VIP customer. When you can help cast vision into their life and say, you know what, I can see you in 3 months from now feeling the best you're ever going to feel. And then even take it further, business. I really see you as an influential business leader. I know you may not even see it yourself, but I see it. I see the way people comment on your posts. I see the way that everyone goes and buys the little link on Amazon that you post about, because you are influential and you are a leader. Cast that vision in them. I'll never forget, someone reached out to me actually like a month before joining Plexus, and I vowed I would never do anything like this. But she said a sentence to me that always stood out to me. And she said, when I look at you, I see my dream business leader. And it shocked me. And I just remember thinking, wait, me? And she cast a vision on my life, and she just spoke that out in me, and something began, because I never saw that in myself. And that is what we have the powerful opportunity to do in any position of leadership. You have the opportunity and the calling from God to cast vision on people's lives. Number 4, ask. And that's kind of what we went back to the phone call. Ask lots of questions about them, but specifically asking that question: if you loved these products, would you be willing to tell people about them? But they said, when you ask this question, it's very important that you pause and you stay silent and let there be some uncomfortable silence. Let them really think about it, because in our culture, we're so quick to cover silence because it's awkward and we need to fill the gaps with words and fluff, and we almost end up answering for them. And she said, no, ask that question, plant that seed, let them start thinking, and let them give you a genuine, honest answer back. And oftentimes they will immediately share with you whatever their fear or objection might be right there in that moment. Well, I would, but I just, I'm worried about X, Y, and Z, what they think of me, or I would, but, and that's where you get a powerful opportunity to immediately call out the leader in them and squash out those fears right from the beginning and say, you know what? I know what that looks like to be trapped in fear. And can I hold your hand and walk you through stepping out of your comfort zone into a place where you are no longer imprisoned by the fear of man and by the fear of what people think of you? I would love to help walk you through that, because I was there a year ago and I didn't even want to post because I was so afraid of what people would think of me. And man, I had been so set free from that. We get the opportunity to coach them through so many areas of their life. And the supplements are just the beginning of the platform. And number 5, overcoming objections, which we talked about. That's where, again, you're going to help them uncover the self-destroying talk that they're already telling themselves just in that 10-minute phone call that you get to have with them. You get to offer a counter perspective. And one of the questions they kind of ended with that really hit hard, they said, what would the difference of an extra $1,000 a month make for your family? Oh, great. Everyone could do that. Okay. If I told you that you could be making brain surgeon income, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million a year, but it would take you 10 years to get there, would you do it? Would you be willing to go that marathon? Not a sprint, it's a marathon. Ask one person that question, ask 100 people that question, guarantee you will not find anyone that would say no to that opportunity. Because if we can think of that focus, it's going to be a slow paced marathon, but we are moving the needle forward every single day because we know our end goal, we know our vision, and we're moving forward constantly. So those were the main steps of the process. A few tips they said is to have an IPA mode every single day. And what that means is we are doing income producing activities every single day. So think of a bathtub. Okay. And the water is on, but the plug is always open. That's our business. As soon as you stop running the water, the bathtub's going to drain. So every single day we have to keep that water running. And those are our income producing activities. And if we are not setting alarms for ourselves on our phone, making lists, making specific goals every single day of the specific people we're going to follow up with and reach out to, then that water is being turned off and the bathtub water is slowly draining until we have to start back over again. So if we can have that perspective every single day, what's one income producing activity that I am doing today? They also talked about just a few tips when you are going to reach out, making sure that these people are not just complete strangers, because you immediately lose your respect. You want to make sure that you have first a connection with them in some way. And that goes back to, spend a whole month reaching out to new friends on your social media, connect with them, build a relationship with them, ask how they're doing. They just brought a baby home. Ask how they're doing in postpartum. Ask where they got their jeans from. Ask what hotel they were just at that weekend because it looks incredible. Build relationships with people, because what you're doing is you're investing in the future of your business, and you may not even hear from them for a year about interest in the products, but that's okay. You have spent a year building their trust in you. And that is the most important part about building good business leaders. So I just was going to end with a few tips from John Maxwell's book that I was reading this week. And he talked about like the five levels of leadership. I'm sure you've seen that here before. The top one being position, the least respect. The bottom one, the goal of all of us as leaders and building business leaders, is respect, building followers underneath us and becoming a leader because we've built the respect and the trust of people underneath us that want what we have. And how we do that is by leading with example, leading with love, and showing them that we care about them. If ever they have to ask if we care about them, we've immediately lost a rank on our tier of leadership. And he said, you can spend a lifetime getting people to a level 5 leadership where they respect you. And it could take one day to get back to the top. So every single day, are we investing and showing people that we love them and we care? He said, you can care about people without leading them, but you cannot lead people without caring about them. So next week, we'll talk a little bit more about how to attract new customers in your social media platform and kind of changing that algorithm. And maybe you're in a place where things are a little bit dull or not moving. And we're going to talk about some tips about how to really spruce that up, regain momentum, regain connection on your social media. Today, we kind of wanted to talk about that business perspective, since that was one of the main topics with convention. But Tiffany is going to talk about some tips for VIP and how to grow your VIPs.
Yes, I'm going to keep that short and sweet. I just wanted to tell you a few tips about what I have found successful for myself and some of my girls that have been doing this with me for a little while. Probably the number one tip I have found selling is keeping everything I do, everything I talk about in the conversation about them. People don't care what it's done for you. I mean, sure, you can say, this might have helped for me a little bit, but the whole conversation I have with people is focused on them. We start off, hey, tell me about some of your health goals. What are you struggling with? And you obviously very sympathetic or empathetic, however you want to handle. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that, because really, I am sorry, because we shouldn't have to suffer. When you feel good, you want others to feel good. So show them that you care and show them that you really have their best interest at heart, because we do. So once I kind of get an idea of what their health goals look like, I kind of talk with them and give them some ideas on product choices. This might be a good option for you, or this might be a better option. I kind of let them have some power in deciding. I kind of feel people out. Some people are like, no, I'll take a look and then I'll decide for myself. And some people are like, nope, just tell me what to order. I don't know what any of this means, but I trust you. And so just really kind of feeling people out of, how much help they want, and giving them that independence still of picking out their products, because it's fun. And another thing I have noticed is the share a cart option is a really amazing tool. Our sign up process is a little confusing. We do have the step-by-steps laid out that I hope all of you have at this point. But the share a cart really just nips that all and gets them to the right place. We want to make sure they sign up as a VIP, and that, they get the right welcome pack for them. And it's just makes it a breeze when we can just say, here's your link. You can customize your flavors, still make it about them, let them have a voice and a choice. So I love the share a cart feature. And then one thing back to that is when people say, yeah, just send me your link, or I never offer my link, just say, go to my link, because they never end up in the right spot. They never order, they'll order retail, and then I'll feel bad because they got, the same products for way more money. So giving the link is a really just kind of great area. If I really trust that someone is just want to look at ingredient information, I will. But oftentimes I never just say, here's my link, go browse, because that never lands them in the right spot. Another thing is graphics that Plexus gives that we see on Facebook or wherever. I know when I'm like on social media, I kind of like just swipe past a graphic. It doesn't really grab my attention. But if I see someone with their face, or they're mixing up their drink, or just making it really personalized, if it's a picture of your drink, listing the benefits, or, just making it really personalized, I think is a nice touch to gain traction and new followers. I know it's more next week, but that's just another tip I do have on finding people that want to join, is making it more personalized and not so cookie cutter. And keeping it short and sweet when I talk to people. The longer my messages get, people take longer to respond, or they're just kind of turned off about it. So just really driving home the point, hey, I saw your post. I saw you struggling with constipation or bloating or whatever it is. I have something that can help you. And then people are like, oh, tell me more, or I might not get a response, and that's okay. I still planted a seed, but just really keeping it short and sweet about them, and not this whole long paragraph about XYZ. So those are just a few of my tips for what is working for having VIPs join right now.
Awesome. So I wanted to end with just this vision. If you could close your eyes and picture yourself this time next year, where do you see yourself? And what does that look like? And once you get that vision in your head, then you ask yourself, okay, what is it going to take for me to get there? I know for me personally, this time next year, I'm going to be at Convention 2024. And my goal is to have a whole team of girls there with me in our matching shirts, and all on board and excited and eager to change their families' lives, just not only with the income, but also just health-wise. So think about your visions and think about your goals, and do one thing this week to step out of your comfort zone into a place that feels very scary. And it will feel very scary, and we're here to walk you through that. But knowing that on the other side of this is the best feeling of confidence. You've conquered a fear, and you're one step closer to whatever that goal is that you've set for yourself. So